Hey everyone, so today I am going to be putting together a small checklist on the final things that you should touch up before Kaigan. Kaigan is almost here for Global, so I figured I'd take some time and just quickly go over the things that you should make sure you have before the patch drops and everything that you knew changes. So, let's get started. Let's start by finding a character here who's ready to start their Kaigan. I think I have one. Here we go, Tamamo. So let's go ahead and level her up, because remember, for Kaigan, you have to be level 85 to start it. So, as you can see here are the mats that you're gonna need. These, angels, I believe they're called, the blue ones. You're gonna need a lot of these, and I mean a ton, and I mean like hundreds. So if you're doing your multi each day, make sure that you're doing your multi in that particular mat gathering map, because these are going to be the biggest roadblocks. These things are a pain to get. And this item here, the eye, is not something you have access to yet, but remember that when it comes out, you are going to need this. We go into the Kaigan. So, there's 5 levels to each Kaigan, and when you open a gate, it'll take statues, along with some extra evolution materials, as well as shards in order to upgrade. After you put in 2 into each gate, you can open the next gate. So you can open to gate 3 with as little as, what would that be? It's 5, 10, so as little as 30 shards. You can get yourself to gate 3 open, so you can up your character to level 91. There's a total of 270 shards in the first 3 gates. The first gate is 80 shards, the second gate is 100 shards, and the third gate is 90 shards. The first gate is for stats and HP, the second gate is a change to a passive you have, and the third gate is a change to a leader skill. So, Global doesn't have this yet, but you should be getting ready for your double JEs. I imagine with Kaigan coming out, it's not going to be too much longer until you start getting multiple JEs. Remember that some characters will have a J plus and a JE. Just keep it in mind. You might want to start farming some of this equipment on the side if you haven't already, to get ready to upgrade your characters, because hopefully with the changes to Kaigan, we will get the upgraded normal map system, which I will quickly show off. So, in Japan, all of our normal quests cost 6 AP, and this is going to be super important because you are going to need to farm this equipment a lot. I'm not saying you should be farming the equipment from these maps, but I'm saying you should farm the JE equipment from the JE maps when you have some spare AP on your hands. Make sure you're doing your hard quests every day. 270 shards does not come easily. Don't be afraid to farm some 4 stars in there. Like right now I'm farming Maya and Courage. Some of these 4 stars are going to be very good, and unfortunately we don't get enough of the free draws in order to guarantee you'll get a 4-star up to max. Don't get me wrong, you will get a 4-star maxed out on draws alone. It's just, there's a big difference between Maya and Dilga, if you know what I mean. So let's take a rundown of the Kaigan mat maps. So on a daily basis, we are given a statue stage, and today's statue is Bears. And starting out, you're going to only have access to 1 map, which is going to be the equivalent of the Japanese intermediate map. It costs 30 AP per run. Expect somewhere between 1 to 5 of the statue that you're looking for in a single run. So do the math, figure out how much AP you need. If you get the upgrade to the AP system, you will get access to these leaves, and hopefully we get them, because these are very helpful in a pinch when we have a lot of things to do, and we need some extra AP in order to farm something. So in Japan, our JE mats are also on a daily basis, and it depends on the day of the week on which ones you get. I don't think that has happened in Global yet, but it might. Also, if Global gets access to this banner here that has Eisen on it, this is a hard mode equipment or gear farm, and it only drops 4-star gear. If it comes to Global, make sure you do it. You should also be getting an upgrade to the amount of AP you get each day, because without it, Kaigan is going to be damn near impossible. So if you don't get an upgrade to the AP system, riot. Like, no joke, just riot if you don't get more AP. Because at that point, if you don't have more AP by then, there's going to be major issues. So moving on into the other event tab, and the tabs are going to be different because we have a more updated UI. If we go down here, there's this Nenso VCR stage. You're going to want to make sure you do this every single day when it comes out. It's extremely important because it is the best way to up your VCRs. Now, this advent of Phantom things is a one-time thing, so when it comes to Global, and it might come to Global coming pretty soon with the patch, just, you don't have to run this. Just wait for a good time to run it, and it's pretty difficult, so don't feel pressured to run it. It's 15 shards, and it's not repeatable, so take that with what you will. So let's quick drop into our items here to take a look at some other things. Alright, here we go. So, make sure you have yourself a good supply of the rainbow mats. These are somewhat used, but not used nearly as much as the goddesses. As you can see here, I'm running out of everything because of Kaigan so much stuff. You're going to need to make sure that you have these angels of all of the levels except the lowest level, and these are elemental based. So let's say that we have more dark units, because we definitely have more dark units coming earlier. Make sure you got a good stock of purple ones for dark units. Since we don't have many thunder units coming early, you don't need yellow ones. So if you want to reset to try to get more of the purple ones to make better use of your AP and time, do so. You can look at the spreadsheet that I posted a while back, and that has the times and unit order that they came out in, and you can use those to determine what you want to farm. Although normally I don't have an issue with the angels so much as I have an issue of running out of golems. So just keep that in mind. That's definitely been one of my sticking points, is these golems here have really thrown me for a loop every now and then. So another Kaigan material that will be coming out are flags. You're going to need to farm these when they come out. Most flags are only available in EX maps, so make sure you save some AP for it. One rule of thumb that I will mention here is think of your hard quests as a fluid thing. Some days you're going to have to skip hard quests in order to make room for farming some of this other stuff, unless you're well enough to afford to buy AP. And even then, I don't suggest it. So definitely take a good look at your units, figure out which ones you absolutely must have right now, and put them into a category of must farms. And then have an additional category of hard quests that you are pretty sure that you can drop on any given day if you have to spend extra AP on something else. That's a good way of doing it. I normally have about 20 hard quests going at any single time. I've had as many as 26 and as few as 16. Like, just hard stuck, I will farm this today. And every once in a while, when we get really busy, I'll drop that hard quest number even lower for a week in order to accommodate other farms. One example of this is the DG hard quests, or the SSM hard quest, in which case I drop a farm for each DG/SSM character that I'm farming. So keep that in mind. So the other material we're going to need here are sins. And these also only come from normally EXs or events. Be very sparing with these. These are very limited. And while you do see 58 on me, up until like 2 or 3 months ago, everyone had like 10 or less. And it was really, you really had to pick and choose who you wanted to Kaigan, especially for the first few months. Keep that in mind. So let's go to some units now. Now, remember that for collab units, that they are going to use a different type of shard. If I could show it here. And you can see there, it's a rainbow shard that looks like it's frozen in a case of ice. These are not going to be coming out immediately, because you probably won't get many collab upgrades, or collab Kaigans, at least to start with. But when they do come out, make sure you get them whenever you have the chance, because you're going to need a lot of them if you want to Kaigan your collab units. Now, as far as limited units go, let's quick take a look at my Bashini, because I'm in the wrong category to see him. A lot of the DG units like Yoras, Bashini, and Zane are very, very powerful when they are fully or partially Kaiganed. Are they worth fragging to 85 in order to focus on Kaiganing them? Yes. Yes, they are. Specifically, the ones I specify on my spreadsheet are worth fragging to 85. In Japan, we do not get the DG/SSM hard quests enough to justify not fragging these units. Whether you should or not is a completely different story. We don't know when or where or what global exclusive units are going to come out. We don't know if the next GLAX is going to be the next Roxy, or if it'll be the next Shion or Sieg, or who knows what. We don't really know where their power is going to land. We also don't know if they're going to get Kaigan immediately when they come out. So, these units might not be as good, or they might be even better. Use your discretion. But, as far as the DG units, what I can say is that these are guaranteed to be good. At least the ones I've specified. I guarantee they will be great units. So, moving on to Nensos, because those will also be coming out. Don't forget that you want to save your copies of your Nensos to start with, so that way you can farm multiples of them at a time. The idea is you're going to want to pop multiple VCRs on certain Nensos, and other Nensos you can fuse without any worries. The current Nenso system in Japan is a little bit different than it is when it started out. So it's hard for me to show you the UIs because they've changed significantly. But in general, when you... Let's see if I can find a good one to start with here. What's a good one? There's got to be at least one here, right? Here we go. We've got the Rakina Nenso. Alright, so... to begin with, to level up a Nenso, you're going to need these Apple Ratties. And these can level up the Nenso. And if you want to level up the Vision, you are going to need these. And we call these Mech Ratties. Once your Vision percent hits 100, you get the VCR. You can get the VCR just randomly grinding it out on maps at 1% of a time. Or you can get them from the VCR stages if they're up that day. In general, this is the only way to max it out quickly, and these are going to be incredibly rare when they first start handing them out. And they probably won't right away. Once you've leveled a Nenso up to max, it gains the rest of its stats. But this does not add to the percent of the VCR in any way. When you limit break a Nenso, it will gain 2 levels per limit break, and it'll max out at level 40 for a 5-star, I think 35 for a 4-star, and 30 for a 3-star. And each time it levels up, it'll gain bonus stats as well as the stats that you get from leveling it up. Not much else to say here other than when the Nensos come out, I'll probably be able to give you more information on exactly what you should do with it. The first set of Nensos, the Vettel and Chloe Nenso, you're definitely going to want the Chloe VCR. Vettel is pretty passable, although his Nenso is very good on Gerard, so you want to at least pick up the Nenso. There will be some good 4-star Nensos coming out, and I'll probably go over them when they actually do come out. As far as getting the Nensos have a 6% red rate, and in Japan, when Nensus first came out, they were mixed with units, making them even more difficult to get. Expect that in Global for the foreseeable future when it drops. So, for post-Kaigan era content, you should start building your mono element teams now, because there are going to be a lot of rewards that are linked to running mono element teams. Especially Neo Vita, you're not going to get it right away, but when it comes out, you need to run a mono element team on almost every single floor. No exceptions. You literally cannot go to the next floor unless you can clear it with your mono element team. Start building them now. Start thinking about what units you want on your team, what leader skills you want for your team, and what supports you want for your team, and start building those. You want to, in the post-Kaigan era, you really want to have a good idea of where you want to end up if you want to be successful. Picking up and dropping units is going to be really inefficient, and you are going to waste a lot of resources and time doing so. Every once in a while, I have a couple of units I dropped, like Aswad I dropped because damage and squish, and I spent like 2 or 3 months farming her, and I just ended up never using her. So that was 2 to 3 months I could have been farming Gol or Arbor or Maya or some other more useful unit than Aswad. And it's not that Aswad is a bad unit, she isn't what I needed, and I didn't like her enough to farm her in spite of that, you know? So, something to keep in mind. You definitely want to have an end goal in sight. If the unit you want isn't out yet, keep that in mind and save up your gems. Because a lot of the Babel units that are going to come out in the future are going to be limited units. So, I think I've kind of gone over a bit of a hodgepodge of information today. There isn't much to go over from here. There is going to be a store, a Kaigan store, that will come every now and then. And ours looks a little different than what yours is mostly going to look like. But you can buy these Evo mats for an absurd amount of Zenny, like this pack here. For 30 of these, 110 of these, we're looking at 10 million Zenny. So keep that in mind. This shit's really expensive, so you definitely want to farm most of it if you can. A lot of the Kaigan mats will only ever be put up for gems too, so make sure to farm what you can. Maybe if we're really lucky, they'll give us the permanent skin shop, right guys? So for coins, hopefully we get the EX coin upgrade. Or update, so that way we can start gathering EX coins so we can buy things like Sins from the EX shop, among other things. If we don't, the friend coin, you should be able to get a Sin for 2,000 friend coins, so for those of you who've been saving your friend coins, you will be rewarded. As far as Arena, if we get the Arena update, Lotia is worth getting. I'm just going to say it there. I'll be doing a video on her pretty soon. And every once in a while, they will put flags and stuff into the shop. Although it's pretty unusual to have this many different flags. So there must be some kind of event going on that I'm just not aware of. Normally it's 3 different types of flags and 1 type of statues. And you can refresh to change the selection. It's random. But just something to keep in mind is you want to, if you have a ton of these MP coins, you're going to want to use them on flags, because this is a great way to get flags without having to farm EX maps for the tune to 40 to 60 AP a pop. So keep that in mind. I would not buy the statues from here. I think it's more AP efficient to farm the statues. The flags are definitely something you're going to want to get from here. So something to keep in mind. The JE gear is kind of meh. As far as getting Teddy shards from here, I wouldn't bother with that much anymore, because hopefully they start putting in the Vita shop for one thing, but also it'll pop up in that Eisen farm too, and you're really going to want those extra resources to Kaigan with, in my opinion. I mean, you can still get the shards from there, that's fine. It's not going to really hurt you. It's just my personal preference. Now, as for the shop here, the soul coin shop, because up till now, a lot of people have been saying things like only get units that don't have their hard quest out or something like that. In the post-Kaigan era, I disagree with this sentiment. You want to get through your Kaigan as fast as humanly possible so you can start your next Kaigan. You don't want to spread your resources too thin, because let's say I'm farming 20 characters and I want to add Ramses to the mix. Well, maybe I have to finish Tamamo so I have enough AP to add Ramses to the mix. So rather than spending soul coins on Ramses shards in order to get Ramses up in the meantime, you can spend extra shards on Tamamo to get her online even faster through her Kaigan, and then you can deal with Ramses afterwards. The faster you get your units through Kaigan, the stronger they will become at a faster pace, and the quicker you'll be able to do high-end content. I'm not necessarily saying that you should go and buy a bunch of Chloe shards from the Soul Coin shop, and you still definitely want to prioritize Mieliki, Bolt, and Lucretia. I really don't care for Eve, and Phrase is an abomination, unfortunately. He is just probably never going to be good unless Gumi wants him to be good. And I don't think Gumi wants him to be good. So, Lucretia, Bolt, and Mieliki are still high priority shard targets from the Soul Coin shop. But outside of that, if you have a bunch of extras, definitely focus on finishing some of your Kaigans earlier, so that way you can then farm other units. Trust me, it's a way better system. Alright guys, so I think this video has gone on long enough. If you have any other questions about Kaigan, feel free to ask, and I will try to get them for you and answer them as fast as I can. We are definitely running out of time, so definitely get your questions in now if you have any, and hopefully if you've been preparing this entire time, your efforts will pay off. So thanks for watching as always, and I hope to see you next time.